I'm about to show you thousands of dollars worth of rare, archival, and designer men's fashion. Yes, this is the biggest pickups video I have ever done. And these pieces are from some of the coolest designers out there. Here's my stack. Do you like it? We're gonna look at multiple pieces from l.g.b, Backlash, Number 9, Kimry, Vivien Westwood, Visvim, and Boris Bidjan Saberi. And sometimes people ask me, why do you buy so much stuff? Why are you doing this? What are you trying to prove? And it's a fair question. I mean, there must be some level to this where it's about some deep insecurity or need to be liked. But the real reason is that I am always in the process of finding my style. Now, you might look at me in my content and feel like I have a pretty good lock on my style, and I think I do, but it is never done. Your style is never complete. It can be honed and refined and optimized, and that's what I'm doing now. And by the way, you don't want to be wasteful, so as I bring these pieces in, I let go of just as many or more, so check my grill because I've got some crazy stuff up there right now. The link is in the description. But it took me a long time to find my style. I wasn't sure exactly where I stood. You can go back and watch my hundreds of videos that I've posted. Yes, hundreds. A lot of people, once they figure out their content, they go and delete the older stuff that they're embarrassed by. I leave it up. Everything from the first video I ever made is still there, and you can see some of the whack-ass shit that I bought and reviewed and claimed that I liked. And while it's kind of cringe to look back on now, it was a necessary part of the process to get where I am today, because how can you find your style? How can you find what you like if you're not sure what you don't like? There's that old saying, you can't knock it till you've tried it, so I went and tried it all. But I'm a punk. I've been playing in touring punk bands since I was 12 years old. I literally have a tattoo on my chest that's like Connecticut hardcore. And that's cringe, I know. But I guess it was inevitable that eventually, throughout all this, I would find my way back to that punk hardcore type of style. And that's where I've landed. I've spent a lot of time with Enfariche de Primé, Eddie Slama, Saint Laurent stuff, really any of these like skinny, distressed, thrash things. But one thing that I also discovered is archival Japanese brands like Number 9, and some of the more like darkwear avant-garde brands like Boris Bidjan Saberi. And I've started to integrate those into my style. So even if you feel like you've got it all figured out, keep pressing away, keep poking around, try things, see what works, see what doesn't, because eventually you will get better and better and better with your individual style. So we have 8 pieces to look at here. I think it's 8. How are we gonna do that? Well, we're gonna have to move quickly, number 1, but we're gonna take a look at these pieces, take a look at the details, then we'll try them all on, see how they feel, how they fit, and see if these are helping elevate and refine my style, or if they're maybe a step in the wrong direction, because you can't knock it till you've tried it. Let's go. Broski Brahmin, you gotta join my Patreon, because I post exclusive videos every single month there that will save you money, hopefully more than you spend, and you get access to my private Patreon Discord where we have all sorts of fashion discussions, but I also post private, super sick sales on pieces that I featured on this very channel right here. You can even get shouted out, like for instance, thank you Henry K for being a $20 patron. If you want your name here, go join the Patreon. Don't snooze and lose, get into it. The link is in the description. This is a note for me later to take out this audio. Alright, this is a massive pile of clothing. We're just gonna need to start cracking away at it, work into this thing, and let's start simple. We'll start with a t-shirt from Vivien Westwood. It's a beautiful shirt from the Vivien Westwood Anglomania line, which was like the more punk streetwear diffusion line, a bit more accessible. And I thought it made sense to start with this because this piece out of all of them slots the best into my current style. Like I could throw it on right now, walk out into the street, and nobody would bat an eye because this is so up my alley. But the thing I loved about this is that this print, Too Fast to Live, Too Young to Die, yeah, like, I don't know, feels a little posery maybe, but this is one of the oldest Vivien Westwood motifs, I believe dating back to the early Seditionaries days when she was doing, Sex Pistols stuff with Malcolm McLaren. Like, this is an old school motif, so I was super happy to get this piece. Because it's just like, it's history, And it's punk as fuck. Vivien Westwood was the most punk person in fashion, straight up. But it's so cool. It's like a heather gray and like army green, like bleach camo type thing. I don't even know what to call it. And oh my God, the fabric is paper thin, like the early ERD paper thin. Almost translucent. You can see my fingers. I love that. So this is just absurdly wearable in a size large, made in Tunisia out of cotton and polyester. So we'll see how the poly holds up there, but like just style-wise, graphic-wise, message-wise, history-wise, this is a classic. Back to the pile. What's next? We've got this piece from number 9. And this, as you can see, is a heavily distressed brown knit cardigan from the Japanese brand Number 9. And we've spent a lot of time on the channel actually talking about Number 9 and the older pieces when they were designed by Takahiro Miyashita, who is now at the brand The Soloist. And we have some old archival Number 9 pieces, but this is actually a new Number 9 piece, a modern Number 9 piece. You can see it doesn't say Takahiro Miyashita anywhere on it. So while this is new, it is based on old 2000s runway pieces that Miyashita did design, but this is a modern interpretation of it. So while it definitely doesn't hold a candle to the legit old Number 9 stuff, new Number 9 does have a good place. It holds its position and can work into your wardrobe quite well. You can see the music notes inside. That's a nice touch there. And it's a pure cotton knit, but it is made in China. So that's kind of the trade-off you make, is that the construction just isn't as good, but you're definitely paying a lot less than you would if it was made in Japan. But I really love this chunky style of cotton knit right here. All the elements of distressing are great. These pockets with the little rolled edges and the heavy fringing that's going on at the hem and the cuffs. I think all of it works really well. And again, this is a piece that is going to slot in perfectly for me because it works so well with so many of the thrashed punk pieces that I already have. All right, next up is actually a piece from Visvim. Visvim? Sure. So this, I know it looks simple, but this is a beige knit long sleeve Henley shirt from Visvim, the Japanese brand, and it's actually the first piece from this brand that we've ever looked at on the channel. And that's probably because their stuff doesn't fit as cleanly into my aesthetic. To me, this doesn't read as punk rock quite so much as it reads as rock and roll. But the Henley shirt is a classic style, and actually one that I don't have any of. I think this is my first Henley shirt right now. And what I really respect about Visvim is that they are purveyors of like slow fashion, right? Like they'll use old looms for denim. They really take their time with stuff. They're all about like craftsmanship, and that's very much up my alley. So this piece, made in Japan, no surprises there. And it's just a really nice example of a Henley shirt. Like you can see the herringbone that's inside there. And it's just clean. Like, look at these seams right here. That is much nicer than a typical off-the-shelf Henley shirt. At the back, you get a couple of interesting elements here. You get this almost like Tom Brown type of attachment at the back, and this kind of gets at their more like boho, bohemian roots as a brand, as opposed to punk rock. And there's also a little tag right here at the back corner that goes into some detail, gives, Visvim, the brand name, cubism, interesting stuff. And they're really known for, their craftsmanship and their materials, so I want to see what this is made out of. So, Japanese size 3, there's an extra button there, very nice. And it is 100% cotton, but it's incredibly soft, like brushed cotton, so nice. And so while this isn't the most outwardly exciting piece, I really think this is going to be important for me as a layering option, because this can be a base for other louder pieces in a fit around it. And the next piece in our pile is insane. This is a piece by Isamu Katayama, Backlash. And you may be saying to yourself, okay, so you've got like a psychedelic 70s type button down. What's so cool about that? Well, if you know anything about Katayama, the Backlash brand, it is that they solely, really, work in leathers. That's the material. They are specialists in leather. So I know it doesn't look like much, but let me get in here close, okay? Starting to see it. There's like a feltedness to it, almost. A velvety surface, but what could this be made out of? Well, here, let's look to the inside. Let's see if that gives you another clue. You see the little texture there? Any guesses? Any guesses? So this is a button-down shirt jacket that is entirely made of pig leather and made in Japan. That is insane. And I just love the feel of leather clothing. So when I saw this, I was like, I gotta check this out. And I gotta say, I really do love it. Like the inside does feel like leather, but then the outside is like the suede, nubuck side of this skin. And it's something I haven't really experienced before, and they've done a great job with it. And I also straight up do not understand how they did this dye or print or whatever you want to call it, because it is nutty. But as you saw, made in Japan, these buttons are beautiful. Just all of these little details are fantastic. And here you can really see the texture of that pig leather. Backlash, size 2. Definitely curious to see how it fits, but just like in concept, this is insane. All right, next up, we've got 2 pieces from the Japanese brand l.g.b. So this might be the craziest piece in the video. I don't even know where to start. So this is a cropped jacket from the Japanese brand l.g.b, Le Grand Bleu, and it is, at the body, entirely rabbit fur. Yep, that is real rabbit fur, hooded. But then you can see the outside is like a gold foil coating. That's insane. Don't know where to start there, with a really cool cut. But then the sleeves, okay. Oh my God. They're so long. They're so knit. They're so fluffy. They've got all this extra like seam allowance just hanging out. And those are wool, nylon, and alpaca. So this is an l.g.b piece, and I believe Ikram is like a store in Japan. So this must have been like an exclusive piece in a size medium. Maniac Corp, they also do If 6 Was 9, and of course, made in Japan. So this, you may have guessed already, is almost certainly a women's piece. Like just that crop is very, very feminine. But I wanted to see if it could work for me. It may be too crazy. It may be too loud, but when you see a rabbit fur l.g.b piece, you just don't say no. So I am beyond curious to figure out what this thing looks like in a fit, but I'm excited to try. And this right here is the second l.g.b piece. So this one is way, way, way more streetwear. The tag, it's almost like a boxing vibe, and it says sports equipment. I love this little rolled neck here. You can see it's like a terry on the inside. Heavy distressing around the hem and the cuffs. You'll love to see it. Nice long arms as well. Little logo tag right there. And then we've got some print as well. Like this right here, it says Godspeed. We've also got l.g.b at the bottom of the arm, but the back has the craziest stuff. So it's actually got like a rubberized treatment here, because across the back it says Godspeed, and then raised out of it, you drive me crazy. That's so sick. So this is just a super fun, super wearable piece that I want to try adding into the rotation and see how it works out. All right, we've got 2 pieces left for you here, and this one is from Kimry. So in my opinion, Kimry is one of the best, most iconic, like underground Japanese punk archive brands. And this is a beautiful cable knit cardigan from them with a sort of like shawl neck style. Goes all the way around and down, and this is like folded over. But there's so much crazy detail in here that you would miss if you weren't looking closely. Like as you get to the sides, first, this pocket is like made out of the fold of the shawl, which is really cool. And then you get this white knit detailing going down the side seam. Really, really nice. And that goes actually to a little leather strip right here. And that's at both sides. And then at the back, it's even better. This reminds me of like the Rick Owens Chrome Hearts knit cross patch hoodies, like super sick. This has a strip of leather going all the way down the back seam through that like cable knit motif right down to the ribbed hem. That's a beautiful little touch right there. And this one is acrylic polyamide and mohair. So aside from the mohair, that's not like the greatest fabrication, but it is very soft. And this is the kind of stuff that makes Kimry a bit more affordable than some of their, I don't know, competitors, their compatriots. All right, the final piece we're looking at, the final pickup we've got today is a pair of jeans from Boris Bidjan Saberi. And this one is crazy. I think Boris Bidjan Saberi is my favorite, like, dark avant-garde designer. I just think he does it right. And this is mainline BBS, not the 11 diffusion line, which means it's like handmade in Spain. Any metal detailing is 925 silver, and it's just the treatments are crazy. So obviously this has a curved seam and the legs go inwards, and I'm very curious to see what that looks like in a fit, because seeing it in like 2D right here is one thing, but I'm very curious how it works when it's actually on the human figure. I've always loved the like diagonal fly that they put in their stuff. And it's a button closure with it. Looks like leather buttons to me, maybe? Something like that. But you can also see it's got like a painted treatment going on here. So these bits are just straight denim, but then they're coated. It may be a wax of some kind, actually, if I had to guess. And that is just everywhere on this. And it gives it an interesting, almost like camo type of pattern. But as you can see, it's also got some interesting stitch work going on here to help create unique shapes on this piece. The back is great too. I love this kind of like window pane detailing at the back pocket here. That is super sick. And again, that is silver. So the thing about Saberi stuff that I really like is that despite the fact that it's like dark avant-garde, I find that it's really workable into like a more typical, I don't know, edgy punk type of aesthetic, even though it's like actually dark wear or whatever. So I'm curious to see how this one works out. Oh my God, this is so many pieces. But we have to try them on. We've seen the details, but we need to know what they look on the body. So let's see what we're gonna do here. So we actually have essentially everything that we need for a fit here. We have bottoms, we have tops, we have outerwear. The only thing we don't have are shoes. And these pieces are almost all absolutely insane. So with the shoes, I'm just going to try and keep it relatively simple. So we'll use these Raf Simons Cylon boots. They're kind of like halfway between a Beetle boot and like a chunky tech sneaker. So I think that'll work okay. And this is just kind of a grab bag. So they may work together, they may not. Some may be better than others, but I'm very curious to see what it all looks like. We have so many pieces to get through, but real quick, just for the accessories, I've got a bunch of ERD and chrome hearts rings on, and I've got a necklace by Reworkshop, a very small, like, upcycling focused jewelry brand that is very cool. And if I decide I need like a hat or sunglasses, I've got the Undercover Supreme studded hat and the ERD XJMM glasses. We definitely need to get some pants on here, so we'll do the Boris Bidjan Saberi P13 black waxed denim curved seam jeans. Wow, that was a mouthful. And this is an incredibly interesting fit. They're very long, much longer than my legs, I will admit that. It's like a raw hem at the end, very frayed, and I don't know, it's just a fit unlike anything I've seen before, but it's also not like crazy out there. I do need a belt though. This is by the brand Attachment, a nice like nail belt, really cool. And yeah, I like the subtleties that both the waxing and the curved seams add to it. It like doesn't immediately hit your eye as something crazy out there, but the details are really interesting. All right, then let's get some shoes on. These are the Raf Simons Cylon 21 boots, and these, they're just good all-arounders. I wear them all the time, just when I need an upscale, but not super like loud pair of boots. And now I can let the hem of the pants fall over these, and everything's feeling a lot better now and a lot more cohesive. All right, first up, let's do a t-shirt. We'll do the Anglomania Vivien Westwood punk shirt. I love the color of this. I love the vibe. The fit is really nice. It's so thin that it drapes in a really nice way. It actually reminds me of some of the like Rick Owens Unstable t-shirts. Like that is how thin this is. And even though it's tagged to size large, like this would be a small from a lot of other modern brands. So that's perfect for me. And now since this is adding a pop of like color and lightness, I think we can try some of the other darker pieces with it. So let's do the Kimry cardigan. And this one's really interesting. It is like a deep black, which I really like. And all of the little details are so subtle, like when it first hits your eye, it's just like, oh, that's a really nice cable knit cardigan. But the little white detailing knit down the sides, the leather strip at the back is really nice, and also it has a single button closure that actually creates a really nice shape, I would say. But I've gotta see the l.g.b. rabbit fur coat. This thing's insane. I have no idea if it'll even fit. Let's throw it on and, okay. I mean, it kind of works. It's kind of sick. It feels incredible, of course, like real fur. Is so comfortable. Obviously, I don't want new fur to be created. I don't want animals killed for their fur. Sourcing vintage fur is the way to go if you're going to use it in the modern day and age, but oh god, it feels nice. I'm not like a heavy gold person, but I am a cropped person, so I like that. And the long, chunky knit sleeves. Oof, this is a heater. Oh, and I gotta say, the hood is so sick. When the hood's up, I just feel like one of these, archive Instagram page runners just drowning in l.g.b. and if 6 was 9 stuff, I don't know. Let me know if I should keep this, if you think it works, or if I should sell it. You let me know. Moving right along, I want to swap out this shirt, put a different top on, so let's try, speaking of l.g.b., the Godspeed sweatshirt. And this one, it's super skinny, super wide-necked, but that's a silhouette that I do actually really like, and the little touches of prints and distressing, I like all of that. But this is very much, I think, a layering piece, so I want to try something with it like, I don't know, let's try the cardigan, the number 9 cardigan. I think the green of this piece and the brown of that will work well together, and gosh dang it, it does. I love this. I love this. I wasn't expecting to put these together, but they definitely work. They have a kind of like indie sleaze type of look, almost like Eddie Slimane kind of vibes, like rock and roll. I like it. I wasn't expecting that. And the distressing here is just perfect. All right, let's swap this sweatshirt out though for something a little bit more like all-purpose. We'll do the Visvim Henley shirt. And this one is so nice. It's a really good weight, like heavy knit cotton. It's so soft and it just drapes really well off the body. I like how wide the neckline is. It just sits well. And actually, I think tucking it in would be good. And it gives me almost like an old school, like Western, I don't know, like miner, gold miner kind of look. So I could see this working as a base for a bunch of fits. But now the last piece we have to try on here is the crazy Isamu Katayama backlash pig leather pattern shirt. I don't know whether to call this a shirt or a jacket, but it really does have the cut of just a standard like button-down dress shirt, so I like calling it a shirt. Because also like a leather shirt sounds more interesting than a leather jacket, Anyway, I love this thing. I'm obsessed with this thing. The fit is so good. Like, it is slim, but slim in a way that feels like it was made for me. The length of the sleeves, the length of the body, the width of it all is so good, and I don't know if there's like anybody else on this earth that this would fit better. It truly feels made for me. Whether it's like buttoned all the way up, or you open it up a bit, or even all the way, every permutation of this looks awesome. I just took a flyer on this one. I had no idea if it was gonna work, but like, this is now one of my new under the radar favorite pieces. I know it's not the most hype or whatever, but I find it incredibly interesting. And it's working really well with the rest of these pieces. Whew, somehow we made it through all of it. What a cool set of pickups. Hell yeah. All right, that's the video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know which piece was your favorite. There are a lot to choose from here, and I don't even know which one's my favorite, so you gotta help me out. You gotta let me know, comment, do all these things that help me in the YouTube algorithm with your engagement, and I'll see you next time.